Hello everyone and welcome to UKSG Winter 2021. I hope you're all hyped and ready for this upcoming run of wonderful DZ 80% presented here by TinyTim and come here by Digital Duck. I am Picastroff and I will be your new host for the next few hours. So just before we get started, I'm really happy to say that we actually do have one donation. That would be a $10 donation from Big the Dave, saying, "Go Tim! This run will be legendary!" with a big focus on the GG. So, indeed, Tiny Tim, be amazing, and I'll let it take it over to you.
Thank you very much indeed, Picastroff. Hello there, folks. My name is TinyTim78. Welcome to UKSG Winter 2021. With me, I have my good friend, the Digital Duck.
Hello.
Who is going to be helping me out. He was just doing the wonderful Jet Set Willy 2 run just now. But we've got something extra special for you today. We've got all the egg puns coming out. Get those egg puns in. We've got Dizzy in his cracking new adventure. Okay, I'm going to shut up now, okay? But no, we're going to get started. So I'm going to give you a countdown, and then we're going to get started. This is quite a long run by my standards, so we've got plenty of time to talk about stuff. So I'm going to get started, and time starts in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so Duck, would you like to explain a little bit about what this game is, please, quickly?
Yes, this is actually the newest game we have in the marathon. It's the latest game in the Dizzy series, which is, I guess it's a very long-running series now. The first game was in 1986 for the Spectrum, and this is one that carries on the series. So this is the 8th game in the series. It's based on Wizard of Oz, so you'll see a lot of references to that as the game goes on.
Bye bye, Poogie. That's Poogie getting kidnapped. We'll get him back later on, hopefully, the Wicked Witch. So we've just, as Doc was saying, it's based on the Wizard of Oz. We've just dropped a house on a witch, unfortunately. Well, unfortunately for the witch.
Yeah, it's not the most comfortable way of moving house.
Definitely not, no. And this is pretty much a standard Dizzy game. So the Dizzy games are a platform series, as Duck was saying, from the 1980s on the ZX Spectrum. Puzzle platformers with various sort of jumping mechanics, problem solving, various items, etc., etc. And I've already messed it up and forgotten the key item. Wow, that was a good start.
Yeah, you got to have the key to open the gate. That's
I got distracted and went for the second item rather than the first one. Now, as Doc says, this is a very, very new game. It came out in December of last year.
Yeah, it actually came out during the UKSG submissions period. So it was... Tim managed to play it, complete it, and learn the speedrun in about a week.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fascinating game as well. I mean, now here's one of the characters here. We're going to talk about this. Because this is a Wizard of Oz storyline, but what they've done is they've transposed it with the Dizzy characters and storyline. So our friend there, the Scarecrow, is actually a Dozy from the Dizzy series. And as per Dozy, he spends most of his time sleeping.
Yeah, there's a lot of great characters in the Dizzy series. I think it's one of its main strengths.
Now, we're entering the Ruby Chateau.
They're all well-rounded.
Very well-rounded, yes, indeed. No, so we're entering the Ruby Chateau here. Now, there's a couple of items I need to pick up here. I'm also noting about the coins. Would you like to explain about the coins, Duck?
Yeah, so in most games in the Dizzy series, there's some kind of collectible you have to get to complete the game. In earlier games, it was gems and things like that. In this game, it's coins. We need 99 coins for something at the end of the game, which you'll see when we get there. But usually they're hidden or they require certain tasks to find and pick up.
Yeah, the coins, it's quite interesting with this game particularly actually, because you tend to find you get a lot of the coins relatively early on. I think you'll find before I'm even halfway through, I'm probably on about 60 coins. But then what you have to do is make sure there's a couple that are quite tricky, and you've actually got to be really careful on a couple of points that you don't miss coins. We'll talk about that. You know what I'm talking about, Duck, with the statue, yeah? We'll talk about that when we get to that bit. So I've got my red key now. I've used my yellow key to open the yellow brick road, and now we're going to go on the red brick road. And we're down here. Now you'll notice that Dizzy has 3 lives in this game. He also has a health meter, and it is very important for me with a health meter, because there is quite a lot of unavoidable damage in this game. And I need to make sure I eat the fruit, like that piece there, to make sure that I keep my health up. So this next section here is coming up to the woods, dark forest. This is quite a tricky little section here. Various things we're going to do here. Mainly coin collecting to start with. Would you like to talk about... Oh, I just did a completely unnecessary jump there. Would you like to talk about those yellow arrows that we're seeing, Duck, and explain what those are, please?
Yeah, so this game is actually 3D. Okay, so maybe not, but the arrows will take you into different parts of the level. So essentially equivalent of travelling north and south, whereas moving left and right on the screen takes you east and west.
Yeah, this is the first game in the series, I believe, that utilises that technique.
I think Fantastic Dizzy also did that.
Cool.
But it's certainly not one that's common in the series, and it makes the map a lot bigger. Okay. Without being too annoying to traverse.
Now, I've just taken the rubber band off this donkey. Not quite sure why somebody would do that, but we're going to need that. I've also got an oil can, you can see. One of the things about this game is finding where to use the various objects, and some of them have quite creative uses. They're quite fun. There's also a lot of in-jokes in this game. Unfortunately, we're skipping most of the text, so you won't really see most of them, but we'll talk about some of the main ones as we're going. This is the Cowardly Lion here, otherwise known as Dylan. Dylan is one of the characters, as I say, from the Dizzy series. And he's given us the crystal tiara and told us to go and speak to the witch. So we're going to go and speak to a good witch. Lots of witches in this game. And we're heading our way back over here. Now, before I do, though, before I leave this section, I've got one more important thing to sort out. And I've got to oil up the Tin Man here, who is Denzel. And I'm going to give him a bit of oiling. And I'm also going to get an axe from him, which is very, very important. He also mentions about needing a heart, which will come into play much, much later on.
Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to it. There has been a few, because this is a brand new game, we've discovered more than a few little idiosyncrasies, shall we say. One of which could cause fairly major problems. But we'll talk about that when we get to the end. If you've got anything you'd like to say, Pikachu, anything to talk about, please feel free to do so.
Oh, absolutely. We actually do have a $5 donation from Ian saying, "Excellent choice of game." And yes, I agree. I know I may have missed the pun earlier, but I hope this shall make up for it. And I'm very happy to say that we're getting closer to $1.9k in total raised for Crisis. Let's see if we can reach 2k in the next few hours. It'll be absolutely amazing, as they are a great cause. If you would like to donate to certain incentives, we still have a few more. And the next one that is actually coming up in just a few hours is for the campaign choice in Might and Magic Clash of Heroes HD. For which there is the choice between the Godric and Fiona campaigns. So definitely get your donations in for that, and thank you all for your generosity.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed for that donation. Please keep those excellent puns coming in, folks. I absolutely love them. They're cracking. So please get me more of those. So this is where we are now. We're in the sort of palace here. This is another good witch. I've picked up a knocker, which is very important, and I'm just on my way up here to give the witch the tiara. Okay, so this is the tiara that goes to this witch, and she is going to give us something that's very, very important, which is a magic wand, which of course we will need. We'll actually need it for a little while, but one of the key mechanics in this game is more of a case of knowing where and when to use all the various items. There's actually only one item, I believe, in this entire game, which is quite unusual in the Dizzy series, that actually doesn't have a use. And it's quite funny that that particular item doesn't have a use.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that when we get to it later on.
Yeah, I think I don't think there's a Dizzy game that doesn't have an item like that. But it's rare for there to only be one. I think the first game only has one, but most games have multiple that you don't need to use. They're either to annoy you or to just as a joke.
Yeah. Now, could you explain the relevance to those who perhaps aren't familiar with ZX Spectrum, Duck? The relevance of those two magazines I'm holding. I'm holding
yes.
a Crash and a Zap 64. So Duck will explain what those mean.
Yeah. So if you were in the microcomputer scene in the 80s, you will have known that there were two magazines popular at the time. There was Zap 64, which was for the Commodore 64, and there was Crash, which was for the Spectrum. And there's rivalry between Commodore 64 and Spectrum people, and there's rivalry between the two magazines as well. And these two guards here are similarly, one of them likes Zap 64 and the Commodore 64, one of them likes Crash and the Spectrum.
Yep.
So you have to give them each a magazine to stop them from arguing.
Yep, and then we use the knocker to go through the door, and we're into the Emerald City now. We won't get to see the wizard. We'll see him later on. I'm now picking up a clock, which is quite important, and this is one of my favourite objects in the games here. This is a box marked X, which, well, it's an Xbox. I love that conversation with the wizard there as well. Again, we had to skip it, but basically he tells us, well, you've already killed one witch, so go and kill the other. And Dizzy's like, well, it was an accident. We dropped a house on her. Okay, picking up the brass bell. Sorry, Doc, carry on.
Dropping a house on someone is a gateway drug to further murders. If the Wizard of Oz has taught me anything, it's that.
Now, that was unfortunate. I missed where I was supposed to drop there, so that's put me into dodgy health territory. But it's not the end of the world, as you will see shortly. This statue, could you explain this this character here, please, Duck, while I'm doing this next bit?
So this is a riddle, something that poses riddles, and in order to let you cross the bridge, you have to basically solve the puzzles it gives you. The puzzles are the same every time, but it'll ask you something, and you have to provide the item that matches what it says. So it will say something like a face with hands, and you give it a clock, things like that.
Yeah, some of them are quite clever.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm taking this Xbox. I picked up some poppies and a bucket as well, which we'll be using very shortly. I'm going to stay away from that bird. As you can see, my health isn't particularly great at the moment. Oh dear. So I'm just going to have to be a bit careful. Lives and health in this game are quite important. Because it's still quite a new game, quite a new run, I do have to be a bit careful with it. It's not totally free, so I've just got to be a wee bit careful. Right, so I've given that jester the Xbox, and he's giving me a dice instead. Oh, and I nearly landed on that bird.
It's worth pointing out that inside the Xbox is actually a Spectrum Next. So it's still good.
Right, I am going to take that mask. Now this mask I need to get past this guy again. So he'll let me pass now. Now this is the bit where we've got to be careful with the coins. If you explain that, Duck.
Yeah, so when you solve certain puzzles, the statue will give you a coin. And, well, as well as an item. But if you give it too many items in one go, you can actually make the coins overwrite each other. And that will softlock the game. So don't do that, that's bad.
Yeah, there's two occasions when that happens. That's the first of them. So we've been able to get that sorted. So we're going okay. We're doing quite good at this point. There's a lot of back and forth in this game, as per the Dizzy formula, really. But I must point out the graphics here. I mean, this game is gorgeous. I mean, okay, bearing in mind that this was programmed for a nearly 40-year-old system. And yet it looks, I mean, yes, using modern programming techniques, etc. But it looks so good. And it sounds so good. I mean, it really, really is a cracking little game. No pun intended there.
Yeah, they've done really well with the hardware, I think.
Right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the key here for now. There's a reason for that, because I'm now going to go up here. Now this section's quite tricky. I'm going to make a very brief visit of this section. Relatively brief. Because this section is... I'm going to be revisiting this later on. But there's an item in here, that cog, that I need for progress. So I'm going to get it now. I'm actually going to leave that other coin, if you can remind me, Duck, that I've still got to get that one at the top. And then I'm just going to go down here, get the bucket. Now I'm filling up the bucket of water here. And then I'm going to just go grab these. This is actually quite a tricky section. There's quite a bit of platforming, and it's very easy to fall. You can fall in this game and take damage, and unfortunately what can sometimes happen is if you fall, you get like a stunned animation, and then if there's an enemy nearby, it can move into you while you're in the stunned animation and you take damage, which is not nice.
Yeah, falling... I mean, you are playing as an egg, so it is to be expected that falling's bad. But it's rare for a Dizzy game to actually do full damage. I think this is one of the few games that actually does it.
Right, let me see what I can do with this shopkeeper. Sometimes there's a way to skip part of his dialogue here, but I'm a little bit inconsistent with it. So let's just see if we can do it here. Okay, that might do it. Did we get it? No. Still haven't quite figured out. He's got a couple of pieces of dialogue. The first piece he'll say the first time you come to him, and then the second time you have to go back to him to give him the ticket, which we need. But sometimes I can skip the first piece of dialogue, and sometimes I can't. He can be a bit recalcitrant like that. Oh, look at that! He's just gone and disappeared on me. Oh dear. Yeah. As I say, because this game is relatively new, there's still certain things that we're working out or not 100% clear on. Now, there's a little Pac-Man I've got now. Okay, and I need one more item down here as well, which is a very nice loud foghorn. Now then, we're coming up to the Witch's Castle, which is probably one of the, well, it is the hardest part of the game in my opinion. And there's a cool little sequence just as we go into the Witch's Castle that I'll get Duck to talk about as soon as I've dropped these items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop these items now. The reason I'm doing this is you have a very limited inventory capacity in this game. You can only carry 3 items at a time. So you have to organise your route around your inventory. Right, okay. Yeah. Duck, do you want to explain about this next section?
Yeah, so the castle is one of the... I think it's probably one of the most annoying parts in the game when you're speedrunning it. But it's interesting when you play casually, I guess. So basically, you have a series of doors that are all connected in different ways. And you have to use a switch to move a wall so that you can access different parts of the level.
Yep, it's very, very tricky. There's a whole sequence of rooms here, and you have to come back here multiple times as well, which is a bit of a pain. Now, I love this dragon here, but I'm not going to get too close to him because he's not exactly friendly. We'll be saying hello to him again later on. Just going to go up here. So I'm now going to go make my way through to the door section, so we'll talk about how that works. These rats you've got to be very, very careful with, because they can be really, really nasty with damage.
Hey, I'm just wondering, do we have time for a donation?
We do. Of course, go ahead.
Awesome. This is really awesome because we got $100 from RageHouse7 saying, let's keep the final day of the marathon going strong. Good luck on the run, Tim.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Thank you so much. Sorry, carry on.
No, I was just going to say, that's amazing. Thank you very much for your donation, Raja. And that puts us at 1.9k, specifically 1,970. We're just $30 away from 2k. That's absolutely incredible. And also, as a side note, this donation went towards the Charizard named Big Idiot for the Pokemon Red and Blue reverse patch order run, which will be later today. So indeed, do remember to check out the incentives. And once again, thank you for donation. It's absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much, Riker, for that donation, and well done on your run earlier on as well. It was absolutely fantastic. It was a pleasure. So thank you so much again. Right, okay, you'll notice that it was a bit dodgy there. We did Wicked Witches Washed Quick there. I tried to dump the bucket of water on the witch in the hope that she would melt, and it didn't really have the desired effect. So we're going to have to find some alternative way of dealing with her.
Unfortunately, in this one, she's wearing a waterproof coat.
Yes, which is quite amusing. Okay, so that's the first time the door room's done. We've got to do it another time. So we'll get out of here. I will also wave to one of my favourite screens here. Oh dear, I'm going to wait for him. If I'm quick, I can get up there without him causing me problems. But if I hesitate, I've got to wait, because otherwise I can get caught by him on the ladder and it can kill me, basically. So I've just got to be a bit careful with him. Right, so here we go. This is my favourite bit here. The flying monkeys. You can't have the Wizard of Oz without flying monkeys. When I first played this game, I actually was quite intimidated by those flying monkeys and didn't want to go anywhere near them. And it took me a little while to realise you had to actually try and run past them. So I think somebody had to point it out to me. Okay, we're going to pick up these. Sorry, Duck, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that some things can be quite scary if you don't know, because it's very often you think, oh, there must be an item to deal with this, and sometimes there just isn't. You just have to go with it.
Yep. Right, okay, so we've now got a candle, a Pac-Man, and a foghorn. And we're going to use these items now, pretty quickly now, actually. So we're making our way back, toddling along the red brick road. Okay, and there's the house. There's probably bits of a squashed witch under there, but we're not going to go into that. And we're making our way over here. Yellow brick road. And through the gate. Little jump there. Got to be a bit careful with that. It's not too difficult, but if you lose concentration, it's easy to... And now I'm just going to give a quick blast here. Honk honk on the foghorn. And yeah, that's just to make sure we get Dozy. He tells us something, which we're going to deal with shortly. Then we're going to go across here to the statue again. And this time we're going to give him the candle. So this is the second point where I've got to watch the coins, because I could soft lock if I overwrite them. And then I give him the Pac-Man. And he'll give me the parchment, which is an essential item for later on. One that I always forget. So I'm going to try not to forget it this time. And then we're going to go back here to the witch. Now the reason we're going back here is because we can't get past the dragon. The witch wants her staff returned to her. And unfortunately, the dragon's guarding it. So what we're going to do here is tell her that there's a great big dragon in the way and see if she can help us with that. And her solution is, well, it's quite interesting. Would you like to explain what we're going to do with the dragon, Duck?
It's the chemist's solution. It's you want to make a dragon sleep. Of course, you're going to make a sleeping potion. And all we've got is some poppies.
Yep, there we go. Poppies have been purveyed into a sleeping potion. So we're now off to let sleeping dragons lie. It's going to take us a little while though, because we're going to have to head all the way back over there. So we're on our way. Now, while I do this, I'm also going to pick up another item. A lot of the key to the speedrun of this game is making sure you get all your items in the right order and in the right position. And it is very, very easy to miss something. As I said, I've only been doing this run fairly recently, because obviously it's a brand new game. And it's funny how you get used to it and you think, oh, I'm doing fine. And then you think, I've missed something. I've forgotten this. I've left it where it wasn't supposed to be. And it is quite easy to do that. I haven't done it too badly so far, apart from missing the yellow key right at the beginning there. So this run's going okay at the moment. But now look at my health as well. I've always got to be a bit careful on my health, because as I say, there's plenty of unavoidable damage. So I need to keep my health. But the one thing that this game is good with is there's lots of food around. Unlike some of the other Dizzy games where you basically get 0 health, this is pretty good for that, to be honest. Right,
yeah, it's fairly generous with the food.
Yep.
One thing to note is that the item management isn't trivial in this game. It's not just a case of I need these items, I'm going to pick these items up and use them, because because of all the backtracking, you very often will take an item just so you can move it closer to where you need to use it later. Because you've got some spare slots going as you walk. So you want to constantly micromanage stuff like that.
Yeah, no, totally. I just grabbed a bit of food there to give myself a little bit of leeway. Flying monkeys again. Hello, flying monkeys. Let's go past them. Right, okay. So what I've got now is I've got the potion. You notice that I swapped items there. I dropped the pickaxe, picked up the key, and I then dropped the wand as well. So again, exactly as Duck was saying, that's just pre-positioning stuff for later on. Now, this is one of my favourite bits here. Look at the dragon, isn't he lovely? Sleeping dragon's lie. There you go. And I love the fact he changes colour as well. So, there we go. Dragon is asleep. We've got the wand. So we're going to get out of here now. The wand, it's a staff, actually. That jump there is actually quite a tricky little jump, as you can see. Oh, dear. Oh, I'm making a right mess of that. There we go. Got it. So.
I am wondering, do we have time for a donation?
Go right ahead. Always time for those.
Amazing. Because I am very happy to say that we got a $30 donation from Viper saying, heard you guys needed to get to 2K. Excellent idea. And indeed, with that donation, we got to $2K for Crisis.
Woo!
So congratulations, everyone. We've passed this milestone. Thank you, Viper, for this final donation that allowed us to reach that milestone. And let's see over the rest of this day how far we can go. I'm sure we can go very far. Thank you again for your donation.
Thank you so much, Viper. That's absolutely amazing. 2,000 raised to Crisis, folks. Thank you so much. It's every little bit helps, and yeah, it's such a pleasure and honour to be running this and to be helping UKSG and supporting a charity. So thank you so much. Keep those donations coming in. I really, really appreciate it. Right, okay, so I do realise I made a slight error there, and I'll point it out. Hold my hand up, screwed it up. I left the key. I should have left the key near the dragon. I've left it a bit further away, but it's not a huge deal. We can manage that. So what I'm doing now is I'm making my way all the way back to the witch again with the staff this time. Now this is the majority in terms of my splits. This is the big chunk of the game. After this, things start to fall into place quite quickly. So I'm going to make my way back over here to the Ruby Chateau, and I'm going to give the witch her staff back. And what's going to happen then? Notice that one's 79 coins, by the way, out of the 99 I need. So I did mention that earlier. You do tend to be fairly coin heavy early on. And right, so she doesn't look very happy, but we're going to cheer her up. Going to give her a magic staff. Okay, and she is going to give me a spell. Okay, and that spell will be used with the wands that we already had to sort out the donkey. Now, we've not really talked much about the donkey, but the donkey has got a wooden leg, and he'd rather not have a wooden leg. So, what's the best way of dealing with a wooden leg? Well, magic a new one. So, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Point out a new proper leg, not a new wooden leg.
Yes.
That wouldn't solve anything.
Indeed, indeed. So, those birds were very unpleasant. So, I'm making my way back across now then, so we're heading for the donkey. Now this, as I say, it's funny with these games, sometimes I liken it a bit to Tetris, because once one piece falls into place, lots of other pieces very quickly fall into place afterwards. So this sorting out the donkey here creates a chain of events, basically, that lead pretty much to the end of the game. So what I'm going to do here, there's one thing I haven't done that I need to do though. I need to go and speak to Dylan again. I need to tell him that I tried washing the witch and it failed. There's a reason for that, which we'll see very, very shortly. So, we're back in the Dark Forest. I'm going to grab my key here, because I'm going to need it. I'm going to grab my wand here. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to sort the donkey out, wave the magic wand, and he is going to give us... And I love this. I do love this. Could you explain what this is, Doug?
Well, this is a Bitcoin. I don't know why the donkey has a Bitcoin, but he has Bitcoin. He's clearly into his cryptocurrency, and we're going to spend the Bitcoin at the Pirate Bay.
I love it. Oh, I gave him the wrong thing. There we go. And the pirate is going to give us pirates like Bitcoin. And he's going to give us the cutlass. Okay, which we are going to utilise in an interesting way. And no, we're not actually going to physically hurt. Well, it's kind of an edge case. We don't actually poke anybody with a cutlass, but the end result is kind of the same. Which we'll see very shortly.
It's slightly less violent than dropping a house on someone.
Yes, I would agree. Right, so there's
It's only part of a house on someone. It's fine.
Yeah. So we've got the lion again now. We're telling him about the witch, and he has given us a coin and told us that he's going to go and wait in the witch's castle. He's told us we want to drop something heavy on the witch, so that's what we're going to do. Since it worked well the first time, so we're going to avoid the flying monkeys. This is actually the last time I get to go to the witch's castle, which is good because I do not like the witch's castle section. It is quite tricky. All right, okay, so there we go. We're past here. We get this wonderful puzzle with a door yet again. So we're just going to go in here. You've got to be a bit careful on the movement here because it's very, very easy to miss. Now that's a little trap door. I don't know if you saw it opening quickly there. You've got to be a bit careful with that as well. And we've got to get this portcullis into the right position here so that we can access the witch's room. Now this is where health is going to be a bit of an issue, so I need to be a wee bit careful here with this whole section. That's where you've got to time that rat very carefully, because if he hits you while you're going through the door, he's going to damage you. So, right, here we go. It is witch whacking time, and I've got to be a bit careful with these bats. That was really bad, actually, because these bats could cause me major problems. I'm just being safe here. We're getting bad bat RNG here. There we go. That was good. Right. So the lion's going roar at the witch, and we're going to drop a chandelier on her head. That's not very polite, but does the job. There we go. Right, so the witch is gone. The lion heads off to the wizard, and we're going to get the broom, and we're going to use the key to open the chest and rescue Poggy.
Worth pointing out that at that time, in that room, there was a lion, a witch, and a wardrobe.
And when you first speak to the witch earlier on, I'm just going to share it, even though we wouldn't have seen it because we skipped past it. When you first speak to the witch and say, "Where's Poggy?" and she's like halfway to Narnia by now, because he's in the wardrobe. Right, okay. I've got to be a bit careful of my health here. Yeah, health is getting an issue again. So we have to be a bit careful. Now this is where, as I say, things really start to fall into place from here on in. We've got a bit of a sprint now to the end of the game. We're not actually massively far off the end of the game. I did make a slight mistake there, though. Spot the deliberate mistake. You need to lift that switch there before you go through, because otherwise that locks you in. Okie dokie. If you get anything else to say to Peter Stoff, feel free.
Absolutely. As we are getting further into the marathon, I would like to remind that we've got an incentive coming up for Might and Magic Clash of Heroes HD, which is for the campaign choice. As it is right now, it seems that we've got both, like $10 for both Fiona and Godric. So it's a tie, and I'd like to see this tie broken. So you don't have that much time left, because that run is barely an hour away. So definitely get those donations in if you want to break that tie.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we're making our way back out to the Dark Forest now. So this is one of the harder parts. Not harder parts, but there's a lot going on in this part of the game. So basically what I've got to do now is I've now picked up the pickaxe. We're going back to the sort of cave section now. So we're going to finish off up in here. The first thing I need to do is go and get that coin. This is probably the worst coin in the game, in my opinion. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, Duck, but...
It's definitely in the top 10.
Yeah. And there we go. And that's avoiding damage there is very, very difficult indeed. I'm going to wait for this bird to get out of my way, because I really don't want to be messing with him if I can avoid it. Right, okay, here we go. So this is the last section now that we need to do here. So I'm going to use the pickaxe to destroy this rubble. And we're going to bumble away along here. We're going to go down. We're going to try not to get dripped on. There we go. We're going to get an eyeball. Always love an eyeball. There we go. Eye of the tiger. And we're going to find a place to put that very shortly as well. So,
this dripping water is actually a reference to the original Dizzy game, in which water was basically your main enemy for some reason.
Yep, very much so. Now, I'm very, very close to death here, so I'm going to have to be really, really careful. This is a bit close. Right, so I'm making my way through here, so we've got a little bit more coins to pick up. Bearing in mind, you do need every coin, almost every coin, to finish the game, so it's not like you can miss some. Some games you can get away with it, but this one you can't. And then what I've got to do now is put that eyeball in there. And what that does is it creates a little secret passage. And we want to make sure... Now, would you like to point out the item there, Duck?
Yeah, so that item there is a red herring. And it's a red herring.
It's a literal red herring.
It's a literal red herring. As well as a figurative red herring.
That was the item that we talked about earlier on. The one item that you actually can't use in the game. That's not used for anything. It is an actual red herring, which I think is quite amusing. There's lots of little sort of things in this game that I find quite amusing. I really enjoyed it when I first played it. I was just like, wow. It captured the spirit of the games so well. Right, what I'm doing here is I'm going back up to the witch and giving her the wand back, because we've used it now for sorting out the donkey. And she's going to give me a clock key. Now, we're coming up, as we're reaching it, we'll talk about it now, I think. We'll talk about the big problem, Duck, if you'd like to maybe explain what that is, because we're just about reaching it.
Yeah, so when you... There's a character you talk to in a little while, and he will usually give you a bunch of items, but it's possible to accidentally... We still don't know what causes it, but it's possible to skip one of the items he gives you, and that means he doesn't give you that item. And you need it to complete the game. So that's a soft lock if it happens.
Yeah, let's fingers crossed it doesn't happen. Unfortunately, it has been happening with fairly alarming regularity. And we do actually have the dev looking into it, but we haven't decided, we haven't come to a conclusion yet as to exactly what causes it. So fingers crossed it decides not to raise its head here. So we're in the Emerald City. We are now going to give the broom to the Wizard of Oz. Well, where is he? He's not here. We've got the lion, we've got Poogie, and we've got nothing happening. Where be thou, wizard? Where are you? Is he hiding? He might be. Oh, Poogie's found him. Here we go. Hey, Poogie, thank you. And there he is. There's the wizard. Okay, so we speak to the Wizard of Oz. We're going to give him the witch's broomstick. Okay. Maybe. Come on. Wait, Poogie. There we go. Witch's broomstick. There we go. Witch is dead. We're talking about fixing up the cowardly lion, so he's going to tell us how to do that, or give us a hint. And we're going to collect these last couple of coins here. We've only got a few coins left now. I'm going to come out here again. Now, there's a couple of things I need to do here. This is where softlock could come. So let's get Poogie out of the way first. So we've told him to go home, and he's going to go to the house and wait for us there. Right, so we're now going to give the wizard the parchment, and he's going to basically give the scarecrow a brain. Okay, there he goes. So that's done. And I'm going to pick up the parchment, and now I'm going to speak to him. And the Tin Woodsman, there we go. No softlock. Thank goodness.
Right.
Yes. That was the bit that was really, really bothering me. I was like, well, if that happens, we're going to be in bother. I did have a contingency plan for it, but thankfully we didn't need it. So I've now got a clock key, a diploma, and a heart. And we're literally on the very last part of the game now. There's a couple of little bits I have to do here. So we're going to head off and get this sorted. But I can't say enough how much I enjoy this game, these games. They're not everybody's cup of tea. They are a little bit retro, to say the least. But I do enjoy this style of gameplay. It's actually quite tricky. You might think, oh, that's easy. Anybody can do that. Well, not really. It's pretty tricky. Once you're certainly working your way through these games without knowing what you're doing, some of the The only criticism I would have is that some of the puzzles were a little bit of a leap in logic. There were certain things you had to do. For example, going back to speak to the lion after you'd washed the witch was one of the areas that really hung me up when I first played it. I don't know about you, Duck, if there was any other areas that you found challenging.
The whole situation with Grand Dizzy as well was a bit obtuse at parts, I think.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, it's quite good.
Okay.
If you're a fan of point and click games and platformers, the Dizzy series is like the perfect combination of the two genres.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Right, so I've just given the Tin Man his heart, so he's disappeared back to the city, and he's given me a coin. So I'm just checking if I'm on coins. I think I am. There's 2 in the clock tower. 1 from. I'm a coin short, I think. Am I a coin short? I think I might be.
You might be.
Right. Any ideas where that might be?
Did you get the one from above the tiger?
Good question.
In the caves.
I don't think I did. Let's go back and check. We can just do it that way. We can go back that route and see.
While you go and check, do we have time for a quick donation?
Feel free, go right ahead.
Awesome, thank you. We've got $15 from Anonymous saying, I hate ties, but I love might and magic. And as you may guess, this donation is going towards the might and magic bid war, specifically towards the Godric campaign. Meaning that right now, Godric is leading against Fiona. So right now, we've got $25 for Godric and $10 for Fiona. So there we go. You broke the tie. But you can still donate if you want to in the next hour or so. So thank you very much for your donation, and let's see how this run will end.
Thank you very much. That's fantastic. Right. Okay. So we're in problem solving mode now because I don't quite know where we're missing a coin. There didn't appear to be any in the cave there.
No, there's a. Well, I have to do some troubleshooting on that, I think, because
Yep.
it can be very difficult to find.
Yeah, it could be very difficult to find, but that's fine. Well, just means more game. We should still be hopefully be under estimate anyway, so I don't think there'll be a major problem there. I will need to try and find out where it's got. Oh, I think I know where it is. I think I know where it is. I could be wrong though. I thought it was maybe in the poppy field. Is it the poppy field?
I think you picked that one up.
No, I got that one. Right. Okay, that's fine. That's cool. It's cool. We will sort it out. So, not like that. We won't. Okay. So, as you can see, this game is a bit tricky because you do have, if you make one little mistake, then it does have unfortunate consequences. So let's just see how we get on. I'm just gonna carry on just now, and then we'll have a little look and see if we can sort it out. I hope I haven't done it with the. I didn't do it with the statues, did I? I got that all clean.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Let's just do this bit and see how we get on. Because there's 2 there. Yeah, we're going to be 1 short. Never mind.
No, this should be fine because you haven't done the diploma yet, have you?
No, I haven't done the diploma yet.
You get 1 for the diploma and 1 for the lion.
Perfect.
That's the 99.
Yep.
We're fine.
Fine. Cool. It does mean that I need to go back, but that's fine. So I was panicking there for something that I think what got me there is the fact that we didn't get the soft lock, and then I was sort of looking for problems where there wasn't any. Never mind. Right. Okay. So let's go back and speak to the Scarecrow. He's the last person we need to speak to now. We have taken a little bit longer on this than we should do, but that's not a bother. We will get there. It's more fun. What I do think about this game, though, is it's a very, very good, what's the word? Tribute to the original games. I mean, it's got all the Dizzy staples in it. Annoying puzzles, cloud jumping, all the classic stuff, and it really is
Bucket of
very, very
water.
good.
There's always a bucket of water.
Yeah, bucket of water. It's got bucket of water. It's got everything really. It's such a good. And again, the dialogue is quite clever. I mean, some of it's a bit cheesy, but there's lots of sort of in jokes and self-referential stuff, and it's good. I mean, it really, really is. It was also written by the original authors of the game and programmed by a team of programmers who've done a remake of Dizzy 7, which I've also been running, and it's very, very good. It's so much fun, and that's what matters for me when I'm playing a game. Whether I'm speedrunning or just playing it casually, it's all about having fun and enjoying yourself. And this game's just brilliant. It is so good. Right, okay, we're just about there. All I've got to do now, yeah, we're good on coins, because I will give this football to this guy up here, TikTok, who's Grand Dizzy, and he's going to give me the medal, and the medal will go to the lion. So 1 medal of courage. That'll go to the lion. Oh, went the wrong way, never mind. And then he'll give us the last coin. We're still not quite finished. We've still got a little bit to do here. So I'll give you'll notice the Scarecrow and the Tin Man are up there already. So there's the lion. He gets his medal of courage. He's a courageous lion. He'll roar, and we'll get our last coin. We now speak to the Wizard of Oz, and he's going to tell us how to get home. The only way to get home is, of course, to do an up and tie balloons to our house. So we've got to go and get balloons first. So unfortunately, we've got to go all the way back over to the other side of the map in true Disney fashion to get the to get the balloons. So while we are doing that, I will sort of basically sum up here. So thank you so much again, folks. I hope everybody has enjoyed the run. Duck, have you got anything you'd like to add or shout out?
No, not really.
Okie dokie. Well, thank you very much again, my friend, for being on commentary. It's always a pleasure. Duck plays these games as well, and is going to be running a few of them. I do run lots of games in this series. I run lots of Spectrum stuff. I run a little bit of Amiga stuff. So if you've enjoyed this, please feel free to come along. I'm not a regular streamer, but I do stream as much as I can, and I do enjoy doing this. It's so much fun. And to do it for UKSG, thank you so much again, everyone, to be able to do it for charity, for Crisis. $2,000 raised, that's absolutely amazing. So thank you so much again. It's been an absolute pleasure to run this game as well. It's a brand new game. It's so good to show it off. And it didn't soft lock, which is brilliant. So very, very happy about that. I was really concerned at one point during practice. I was very unhappy because I was like, oh, what if it soft locks? But no, we got there. We got there in one piece. So I didn't die either. It's quite impressive. So we're going to go to the shopkeeper, and he's going to give us the 99 red balloons, or 100 red balloons, I think. I'm not quite sure how many red balloons, but he gives us red balloons.
Yeah. He says he only sells them in packs of 100.
There we go. There's the balloons. Oh, he's off again. Right. Okay, so we are coming up on time. Time will be within another minute or so, a couple of minutes. Because what we've got to do now is we've got our balloons. We're walking our way all the way back to the house. We're going to strap the balloons on. Not quite sure how he inflates them, but never mind. Must have a lot of puff. And we're going to sail off into the sunset, and that will be time when that happens. So I will shout it out. It's coming up just now. But thank you so much again, folks. Really, really appreciated it. It's been an absolute pleasure to run for UKSG as usual. And hope you're not sick of me yet, because I'll be back very shortly for the next one as well. So here we go. We are coming up on time. Time is coming up. And here we go. And time. There we go. And that was wonderful, Dizzy, on ZX Spectrum. Thank you so much again. Thank you again, Duck, for your commentary, mate.
Yeah, no problem.
And as I say, we'll be back shortly for Manic Miner. So, Pika Scroff, all yours.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Tiny Tim, for this run, and Duck as well for a commentary. It's been amazing. And basically, just as you were saying earlier, it's not the last we see of you. Because up next, we've got a Manic Miner complete the game with our dear Tiny Tim here, and also Ruffled Bricks. And it's about to be a race, so definitely get hyped for that. We will be back for this after a short intermission. So everyone, this is UKSG Winter 2021, and we'll be seeing you very soon. Cheers!